Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are ready to kick it off with the last game of the group play. Gents and ladies and everybody else, we are here at the MiA Invitational number 4, and we are in the last best of 3 of the groups with Targma versus Deumos, a rematch from the same group, of course, Group D, the last match to be played out. This is the decider match. The winner of this best of 3 will go to the round of 8, and I believe they will face off, they will face off Deluxe, so a very powerful Protoss, and it is all gonna come down to this epic show match between a Zerg and a Terran. So what do you say, Reach? Are you ready?
I'm pretty much ready, and right now we could also just take a little bit of time and introduce, of course, our players. So,
yes, indeed.
On the bottom side of the map, Polar Night Ladder Edition, we have the pink Zerg player playing for the team MiA. It is Deumos.
Woohoo! And of course, his opponent in the top left corner playing as the blue Terran, playing for MiA as well. So this is a team kill. It is Targma.
I've been a witness to this series. I mean, as you guys already have been. Can you stop doing that? As you guys have been on the stream, of course, but I've been a witness of this game from the first on view, and I watched Targma play, and I must say that I was pretty much impressed by his micro abilities. But at the same time, his inactivity has been shown, especially in the aspect of his macro being a little bit sloppy, it seems. So I think that Deumos is actually the favorite going into this series because now he's pretty much familiar with how Targma plays.
Yeah, and right now we see Targma will open up with a 12 Rax 12 Reaper opener, and that is basically what Targma does every time, and Deumos by now should know this, so we might see a 3-hatch before pool from him, but no, it's going to be a hatchery pool. Of course, 3-hatch would be a little bit risky against that Reaper, but if you got good drone control, shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm just joking, that was a joke, ladies and gentlemen, don't, you know, that was a pure joke.
For a second there, I wasn't really sure.
Oh, come on. I was just joking, man. And this time around, we see Deumos taking that gas much earlier as the games beforehand. And of course, this is a repeat of basically a match they played. They played the first best of 3 together in this group, and Targma won it 2-1 with a very close series in a game. Well, with a very close game in the third one, and very close in the second one as well. And right now we see Targma obviously going for that double Reaper play as every game so far, and pretty much standard. Gonna go for the low CC expansion, and gonna follow up with Hellions, of course, and probably 2 additional barracks.
Yeah, this game has opened up as standard as it could be pretty much. Targma going for a Reaper expand, actually making the second Reaper, which is also pretty standard. Maybe he can get a couple of lane kills, maybe a drone or 2, but probably not much more than that, with the gas already being mined by Deumos and the availability of the metabolic boost to be researched, of course. At the same time, Targma also decided to take the expansion and follow up with the Hellion. Right now, this Reaper is just pretty much dancing around, seeing what he can see, maybe get a couple of poke shots on those Zerglings, but that's pretty much it right now.
Exactly, and Targma, of course, predictably will go for the Hellions, also add 2 additional barracks upon the factories almost near completion, and he's probably going to do, again, a Medivac Marine Hellion push, which he has been doing every game so far.
Yeah.
And pretty much, we could say that Targma is straight out predictable. You know exactly what he goes for, and Deumos has played 3 games against him with the same style every game, so Deumos by now should know how to react against this and also how to counter this.
Yeah, that's probably one of the powers of being a macro-oriented Zerg player, because the more games you play against a specific guy, the more you get into his view, the more you get into his mindset, the more you get into his playstyle. And right now, we're pretty much seeing that Targma isn't deviating from his standard openings. He decided to go for a follow of 2 Rex build, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a starport added on pretty quickly.
Of course.
And this is indeed going to be a very, very, very strong push. But at the same time, with Deumos pretty much being aware of what is probably going to come towards him, and with proper unit control, with proper macro decisioning, he should be pretty much able to hold the push. Right now, also 20 links in production.
Yeah, so-
a couple more gases being added. So he is in a decent position, I suppose.
And also, he is going for that lair. Finally, if we all remember the last series against Targma, he always delayed lair until the 12-minute mark and basically had everything delayed on that. Now, this lair is a little bit quick. It's actually really quick lair. But I assume that this will be mirrorless play because usually we see this play, usually this kind of opening, this kind of play is mirrorless play. We see the third hatchery drop down as well, and we are going to see the fourth gas being taken upon Lair's completion and Spires starting up.
Yeah, I mean, the layer start obviously is an option that a Zerg player could do. It allows you to make overseers very quickly, which is also very good. Yeah,
that's actually a big point that you made right there, because Targma is known to follow up his pushes with Widow Mines. And already we see the first Widow Mine being built here. So overseers are a big part in the defense of Zerg. Might not mean much once it comes down to the big fight, but I mean you need to see those mines to be able to take them down.
At the same time, because he's doing this, he's pretty much delaying his upgrades, because Zerg players usually tend to go for the upgrades before the layer even is started.
Double Evo, 1-1 full links. What we see here is the Spire and the fourth gas dropping down. So basically, very standard play from Zerg. A fast Spire, of course, will get Deumos the control of the map, will control the medevacs, therefore, and might even control the game pace if Targma will allow it.
Yeah, he probably decided to go for this Mutalisks because the drop play utilized by Targma in the previous matches was pretty strong indeed. So that is actually what he wants to pretty much prevent. I mean, also very viable place to just throw down a Roach Warren to be maybe extra safe against the incoming push, because Roaches obviously are very good in the initial TVZ engagements. But yes, Spire also being a viable option. At the same time, 7 Banelings are on the way, so Deumos with his army supply, with his unit composition, is looking okay in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, Deumos is controlling this perfectly. I gotta say, maybe a little bit of an overcommitment to links.
That's
he's
true.
got a lot of links out, and he doesn't really know what to do with them. But he will have the defense against this push from Targma. And here it is, the one Medivac Marine Hellion push, and this will be crushed if Deumos just controls it as any Zerg would. Now we will be seeing drones follow this up very early on. Now, well, quickly behind this, we see 3 already in production. We should be seeing at least 10 to 20 more being built. But here comes a drop from Targma. Now, this is a little bit of a deviation. Deumos did not face a drop, in particular in the main. And here come the 4 Hellions. Deumos has nothing to respond against this. He's pulling the units, and this is actually a good play from Targma. He's going to force Deumos to pull all units into the main. Now he's going to go to the third base, and Deumos has to be careful. He needs to realize that this is what Targma wants, and he sees the army. Deumos, what does he do? Drop still active in the main, but also the third under siege. Now we will see Targma micro his way around. The Medivac is not there to heal those units, and Baneling connections are great, and also Widowmine is great.
Yeah, I mean the army supply has pretty much evened up, but at the same time the worker count was for some time in favor of Targma. At the same time, Targma right now is taking his third command center. I mean, at least is building it, so that should be up a little bit quicker than it was in the previous game. So we have to keep in mind that Deumos actually delayed his economy by a lot, going for this particular.
Be able to get those units out. We see the first Mutalisk as well on the map very early on.
I could even say that it was actually an overcommitment, because the Hellions actually were not utilized, and he could have easily had his third base saturated by now.
Maybe a little bit of an overcommitment, truly. But of course, he has defended. That's one of the most important things. Obviously, if you don't defend, you die. What does the economy help you?
That is very true.
And we see a 4 Medivac drop from Targma going to Deumos. Deumos will see the drop scroll. Oh my god, Deumos! He needs to pull units. He needs to pull Mutalisks back home right about now. And Targma is in for grabs. And here comes the army. Banelings are rolling in as well. It's going to be a little bit late. Mutalisk in the main of Targma though. No turrets yet up, but the Marines are more than enough to hold. But the drop is very devastating. Kills the gas. And Deumos, nice pickup by Targma. Saves the lot. And right now Deumos needs to pull those Mutas back and force Targma to either lose or fall back.
Targma also is utilizing this the characteristics of the map pretty efficiently over here, because the Mutalisks don't really have a clear path to engage with the with zero ground army there.
Big supply block by Deumos that will definitely impair his options of building units. And we see 18 links production, 6 more Mutalisks. One is about to finish up, and here comes Deumos. He's going to try and connect. He does do a good job, and MiA is gonna try and finish those medevacs, and they will get them all.
Yeah, they must die.
That is the biggest pickup in Deumos' game right now. Targma losing those medevacs. He's gonna be down to 0 or only 2 that are coming out, and right now Deumos has a beautiful opening if he decides to move in with Banings.
Yeah, he could decide to do that. At the same time, he could also decide to take a fourth base. Yeah.
4 drones would be the best.
Yeah,
option.
which would be probably the decision that would be more in favor of him. A macro hatcher actually does start.
I like it.
Yeah, but at the same time, he doesn't really have the economy necessary to support
supply
that.
it, to support this. And we see MiA getting the main off Targma, dealing some damage, not killing the reactor though. And Deumos forced to retreat, but at least he has the MiA account now. Drops will be almost not viable for Targma, of course, unless he has balls of steel to move in.
Yeah, I mean, drops not being available. It all comes down to creativity and knowledge of where the overlords are.
We see 1-1 is not going to be Sniper, of course. Deumos could not have known that. And we see Targma still getting nice connection there by Deumos, going to clean out those Marines, but here comes the reinforcement, so Targma should be pulling back. But, sorry, Deumos. And I gotta say, this time around, Targma has much faster 2-2.
Yeah, he does.
And upgrades in general.
Yeah, and also the third base is pretty much uncontested for now. Deumos is pretty much just poking around with the speed. He's trying to contain the Terran player a little bit because he wants to kind of saturate his fourth base ASAP because he really wants to play it out safe right over here and play it out more standard, make a lot of Mutalisks, do what he likes.
I'm missing drones right now. I'm missing a lot of drones.
Yeah, but right now he also is saturating the third base, so he is on his way to the optimal saturation of the bases.
Yeah, I mean, he is on his way. He's on a very splendid way to be there. The problem is he should have had like 70 drones by now.
Yeah.
To be in a comfortable spot where he could be able to contend against Targma. Targma with a 3-base economy now is just going to rush Marines in, and Deumos, he has bailings. That's a good bailing amount, but he needs to connect them. 2-2 is not done for anyone, so 1-1 equal upgrade standings. Let's see how this pans out.
Yeah, Targma actually already getting in a pretty decent position. At the same time, I'm missing creep spread. I mean, creep clearing right now.
Yeah,
so,
Targma not scanning. Here comes the fight. Deumos gonna go in. Bailing's gonna connect, and Targma has to split those units. Oh my god, the splits are just not good, and Targma loses a great deal of Marines. Deumos, though, still has to face a good deal of them, but here come the reinforcements, and Deumos will be able to clean this up, though. Ooh, the Widowmice could be great here. One connection, not so good. One connection saves, actually, Deumos' ass here.
Yeah, it was a pretty good connection, but at the same time, Dimitri is taking the game with the Marines. That is something that he wouldn't want to, and see supply plummets, and the army of Targma is looking very terrible because the third base will fall.
Yeah, and look at the armies, like 81 against 43, and Deumos finds himself in the same position he found himself in that game 3 versus Targma in the last series they played. Deumos needs bases without everything. 2-2 is about to finish up, but so is for Targma. Once that 2-2 finishes for the Marines, it's almost lights out for the Zerg player.
Yeah, I mean, Deumos has found himself playing a 2-base Zerg against a 3-base Terran right now, and this is definitely a position
and 2-2 finished.
Yeah, with the plus 2 already being done for the bio, there is just not much for Deumos to do in this game, and the game should end really quickly, and there we go.
GG being called, and Deumos takes game Targma takes game number 1, and a repeat from the last series as it seems here.
Deumos may be playing this series out. I mean, he's been playing pretty cautiously, but maybe over cautiously.
Yeah. Like building 30 lings early on, sacrificing a lot of drones for that. A bit of an over exaggeration. I would have liked to see maybe 1 more queen or 2 more queens for creep spread. Also, less link count. Maybe a spine or 2 would have helped against the initial push from Targma, and maybe that would have been enough. Well, maybe could have been enough. But of course, it's a decision making while you're in game. You're under pressure. It's hard to make all the right choices. You make mistakes, and that's just human, I guess. And
when you're playing against a Terran player who is adding so much bio production early on, you have to be aware that the timing for the bio is gonna come at around. I mean, the earliest bio timing could be around 9 minutes, 9 minutes 30, and to make any overcommitment to units before that can really cripple you if you want to play a macro-oriented game. So yeah, I mean, at the same time, he did go for a faster Mutalisk, so that kind of this allows you to make a lot of drones,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it didn't really pay out for him in this particular game.
And game 2 will be played on Star Station.
Yeah.
We have another 2-player map, and this is basically the map where Deumos lost the series 2-1. And it's now Deumos' play here that he makes it happen, that he makes Targma back for his life. Otherwise, again, he could be eliminated here by a 2-0 almost.
For sure. Okay, so the player on the bottom right corner of the Star Station is the Zerg player, currently 0-1 in the series. Can he make it up? Let's see. He's Deumos.
Yeah. And of course, his opponent, top left corner, playing as the blue Terran, playing for MiA as well. It is Targma.
Well, this particular map is arguably very Zerg favored because of how open the third base for the Terran player is, and it kind of allows a lot of creative, a lot of openings for the Zerg player to utilize, and that could be very well used for Deumos to kind of play against it. But at the same time, Targma in the series before on this particular map did utilize the terrain pretty effectively.
Yeah, I mean he dropped all around. He dropped from the third into the main, back into the third. He just dropped all the time and forced Deumos to fight in an unequal standings. We see Deumos again going for the drone scout. I don't think this is really necessary at this point. He knows it's going to be a Reaper expansion, and
I mean, it is a best of 3, and if he loses this game, he will be eliminated. So he wants to play this very safely, and with the drone scout, he can be pretty much sure that no 11-11 builds are on the menu today. So yeah, let's see what else happens. So Deumos actually went for a very standard hatchery first build on the 15th supply, which is of course very standard in this particular matchup. At the same time,
it's
Targma.
so standard, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's just so standard.
It is.
It's I mean, it's standard like a banana, man.
Yeah.
It's like that standard.
I mean, come on, bananas being the most
bananas
standard.
Yellow, that's standard, man. That's like standard. If it's green, that's not standard.
I mean, it's standard for some time, but it's hipster at the same time. So, I mean, okay, come on. Okay, let's see what's going on. Deumos still actually deciding, or actually opting not to take any guesses as
he's
of
gonna
yet.
take it. He should be taking it right about now. We have seen him take gas at 18-7 supply almost every game now, and maybe he's opting to go gasless this time around. I would have liked to see this map, span out, but the problem I feel on this map is if you go gasless, you are enforced to stay on your natural. You can't really move out too much. The queens are too slow. You got, Hellions control the creep spread way too good to be able to contend against this. And without link speed, you can't really force the Hellions to run away, which means your third is delayed. Your queens are damaged. Your creep spread is bad. So I don't think that's the smartest idea from Deumos going gasless. But still, on the other hand, if he gets like 4 queens out, he can do a nice creep spread.
That's just his playstyle, actually. What the gasless. What I really think that is the bad side about gasless again when you're playing against a Terran player is that it pretty much lessens your options in the early game to only macro. I mean, all of the aggressive options are pretty much eliminated at that point. I mean, the Terran player can just pretty much sure to play it out to the mid game however he wants to. If he wants to add out the 3rd CC at the 5th minute mark, so be it. I mean, nothing really is gonna come from the Zerg player. I mean, the only really possible options would be maybe slow links with roaches and then the slow links would transform into banelings, but that is not actually what is utilized very much because you want to have this very strong speed link follow-up if you are to go for a roach baneling bust. So Deumos is actually going to play this game very, very macro orientated. He does take a gas pretty early, which is actually a slight deviation. I'm not sure why exactly decided to take it so early on, but
usually it's once you have the queens out, the creeps just started up. You take 2-3 gases. It's a little bit weird. Maybe he's feeling a little bit under pressure.
It could be anything. It could be just his playstyle also.
Everything's possible, but we do see the first deviation of Targma's play. 3rd CC before the 2 additional Raxes from Targma. Now this is the first time he has done this, so Deumos could be surprised about this, and that's also might be a big meaning here because Deumos is going to delay his 3rd hatchery.
That is actually very early 2 gases, and the roach weren't being added on.
Chamber.
This could actually indicate roach play because right now Deumos will soon have 100 gas, and I'm not sure if he's gonna decide actually to a metabolic boost, and with only 1 Evo chamber.
Just might be layer into road speed into +1 roach timing.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be pretty much anything also. I mean, it's just so hard
to predict what exactly might happen. Yeah.
What is very apparent in this game, by the way, is that the third base for Targma was taken pretty late. And in this particular matchup, if you want to play it out macro-orientated, you want to have that particular mindset that the later you take your third base as a Zerg player, the harder it is going to be to defend it. Because you want to have the creep available around it. You want to throw down maybe steady defenses around it if you really need to.
Yeah.
At the same time, let's see what Targma is doing. He actually decided to throw down production before the engineering base, so a strong push is in order.
This is basically the same push he did last game, but it's gonna be a little bit of a variation because he did a third CC beforehand, so he might have he might add 2 additional barracks and push with 5 racks, with 4, 5, 6 medivacs, so it might hit Deumos a lot stronger. But we do have the 6th Hellion play again coming in for Targma as always. Behind is Deumos going for another Evo Chamber. And Lair is about to finish up, so I think we just might see, Roach play here. Or a maximum Roach play.
Yeah, he's playing pretty defensively right over here with only 5 Roaches being there. Which are actually
also,
pretty...
I'm missing creep threat, man.
Yeah, that is also true. I mean, you really want to have a lot of creep pushed forward if you want to defend against a decent Terran player, especially the ones who micro well like Targma. Okay, so 2 engineer bays are on the way, so it's going to be a very strong timing-based bio play, it seems.
2-2.
2-2 will most probably be researched because it's going to be a macro game, of course. At the same time, Targma right now is pretty much in the position to just take his third base, and he's going to have a lot of units when this game goes on.
Yeah, and let's see. Ooh, we have mainly upgrades for Deumos. Okay, so Roach is only for defense. He appears to be very much afraid of Hellions and everything else. He sends 5 Roaches ahead. He's going to intercept one of the Hellions, but Targma at home has the bunker, has a couple of those Marines, and shouldn't be in too much danger. On the other hand, here comes the Spire. Deumos going to go Mutalisk, and it's a relatively okay Spire timing. But I'm kind of confused by the reason making that many Roaches early on.
He just wants to play it safe. I mean,
this is again as safe as he did last time, and that's 4 Roaches okay, but 5 Roaches, that's 9 Roaches. That's a little bit more than just the defense only.
At the same time, he's slowly reaping the benefit out of playing so safely. The macro hatch is on the way. The third base is nearly saturated, and he will soon be able to take the fourth base, actually, if he so desires, which is actually so crucial. If you want to have the Mutalist count and the upgrade
and everything else in between, you really need it. Baneling's Nest is missing. As I say, here comes the Baneling's Nest. So again, this is a very late Baneling's Nest. In my personal opinion, this is a way too late Baneling's Nest. Baneling's Speed should have started by now because he will need it. Because Targma is gearing up for a move out, and here it is. And not here it is, but it's actually we have. I thought that might be a drop, but okay. Hellions running by, but a small move out from Targma as well.
Yeah, he also will have plus. The upgrades will kind of line up evenly, and metabolic boost will finish before this push comes. So Deumos should be able to defend this.
6 Hellions going to the third base. This could be the loss of a couple of those drones, but no. The Hellions do retreat, and this is basically again Targma just forcing Deumos off position, not off creep, but just off defensive position he was previously in. And Targma comes in, gonna clean a couple of those tumors, and we see Deumos without Banelings, only now morphing them in, will not go for enforced engagement because he would probably lose too much.
Yeah. I mean, Deumos is still kind of poking in, trying to find a opening in Deumos' defenses, but he can't really find any, so he decided to just retreat right over there. Deumos right now is pretty much in the position to take his fourth base, to start mining a little bit more gas. Targma at the same time has already taken his third base after the creep was cleared, of course, and his economy is flourishing. At the same time, he's adding on a lot of missile to it, so he wants to be pretty much safe against any incoming Mutalist harass. And this, I wouldn't be surprised to see Targma push out when the +2/+2 finishes, but as I say that, the +2/+2 upgrades haven't really been started yet, so
maybe he forgot them. It's possible under pressure, playing against a good skilled opponent, you forget things. combat shields I feel is late as well.
Yeah.
Should have been a little bit faster there.
Also, what is really important to mention there, we already are seeing the results of Targma actually playing a macro game and being kind of behind.
Yes.
In terms of that, in terms of being having abilities to play decent macro games, because right now he got supplied up pretty severely. His minerals are climbing up, his production is faltering a little bit. Also, his armor is delayed because of that. Combat shields also haven't been done. And if you just look at the supplies, Deumos is flourishing.
Yeah, Deumos is really looking good. The fort base a little bit late. I would have liked to seen it earlier before. The drone count is at an oakish rate. Could have seen like 10 more drones and that would be perfect.
20.
Mutilated count is not the best. Currently 13. Okay, now 16. So it's slowly rising. That's good. And we see Deumos is gonna max out soon. We see more planes being morphed in as well, and we see Targma is gonna go for the move out.
Well, Deumos also will have +2/+2 finished ages before Targma even starts it. So
we found out.
Yeah, a couple of bailings will fall, but no, actually they probably will escape. But that's not really that big of a deal because the army supply for Targma still is. I mean, for Deumos is still pretty big. At the same time, oh my God, so many action going on.
Oh, we see Mutalisk in the main of Targma destroying everything, the turrets, everything falling behind. At home, Targma is just moving into Deumos' natural turret, and we see the army of Deumos should be able to clean this up if there would be no good split. And let's see what Deumos does. The Mutalisk still ravaging the main of Targma. Targma having difficulties dealing with this. Here come the bailings, they connect, and Targma is not splitting his marines. This is just, and oh my God, Deumos takes over Targma, and this is gonna be GG. Targma has lost, and it is gonna be tied 1-1. So we have a repeat of the last series. We're gonna go again into game number 3 here, and that could mean again anyone's game, honestly.
Yeah, Targma already. I mean, again showing that. If he wants to really win this series, he shouldn't take it long. He should be be taking it long because his unit control, as you've seen, is. I mean, apart from this last engagement, has been pretty stellar. But his macro is really suffering. Once it comes down to
macro, micro control, you controlling units while you're macroing, that's the biggest problem for Targma here. And those bailings from Deumos just demolish him into oblivion. And game number 3, let's see.
Yeah, he only created 59 workers, and he had third base set up at around 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and that is pretty much inexcusable.
Exactly, and Devil's Point will be the third map. So, wow. This is going to be an interesting map to see, and I believe we are ready. GLHF has been called, and go. Well, go, team.
Yeah. This map is actually very interesting. It's really easy to spread creep on it. It's really easy to gain map control with the speedlings once metabolic boost is completed, but at the same time, Hellions, with how big the natural and the main are, and how big the entrance of the natural is, are pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to point out earlier before as well, that although this is a Zerg favorite map, at least taking a look at the overall map size of the area where you can engage and all that, but on the other hand, you've got the ramp, which is also very huge. Was previously huge, now it's a little bit smaller, still a big one. We gotta consider that when the map was not yet fixed, if you take a look at it, I mean, Hellions could run by Zerg as well, and Zerg would take the losses of 20, 30 drones, if not more. In any case, let's go into the game. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, the MiA Invitational number 4, and
yeah, sure. So I'll introduce the first player, the pink Zerg, and it's gonna be the pink Zerg player playing for the team MiA. Can he prove that he's a superior player in this particular matchup? Let's see. It is Deumos.
Yeah, and of course his opponent on the top left corner playing as the blue Terran, playing for MiA as well. So this is a team kill. Keep that in mind. The winner will go to the round of 8. The loser will be eliminated from the tournament. Give it up for Targma.
Yeah.
Yes. Production tab will not be shown to you, Reach. You will have to guess what they're making because it's a normal Reaper expansion from Targma.
It's once again neither of the players actually really deviating from what they've shown in this series. Actually, Deumos taking
16 hatchery.
Yeah, thanks for jumping in. So it's pretty standard for both of the players. Neither of them taking any risks in this particular last game because obviously they just wanna utilize their plate in the mid and later stages of the game.
Exactly.
So yeah, the gas is followed up, and that's pretty cool. Even before pull, okay, that's something that I really
gas
like.
by Deumos here.
Why is his supply so low?
Well.
Oh, actually, he went for a hatchery, straight into gas, straight in his spawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's a weird, interesting decision by Deumos. I gotta say, that means he's gonna have very quick 100 gas mine for speed. Could be even roaches here.
I'm not really the biggest fan of these openers because
myself as well. I mean, I gotta say that going for gas first, only occasion I would go for this is if I was playing on a very compact two-player map where I would be endangered by the 2 racks or something like that.
Yeah. What I wanted to mention right over here is that the particular build order that I've been a really big fan of is the 15 hatch, 17 gas, 16 pool. And the beauty of this particular build is that when your hatchery finishes, the pool also finishes, and you're left out with 400 minerals.
2 queens.
With 400 minerals and 2 larvae being available, so you can make two sets of links immediately, and you can put down 2 queens immediately. Also, plus those links that are made actually come up just in time for the standard Reaper to come.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful build. I really can't understand why players aren't utilizing it as much, but at the same time, it's players' preference, and I really don't want to dig into Deumos because he obviously knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and we see the Reaper did pick 1 drone kill, but that doesn't mean much, and we see Deumos with a lot of lanes on the map here, but speed is halfway through, so we might see a speed link timing by Deumos, although he's still building drones, so it's not looking like it, but it is possible. He's gonna have that option. He is still mining gas with only 1 drone. That means he's gonna have 50, 100 gas in about a couple of moments time. So we might see Baning's net drop down. Oh, nice save by Deumos there.
There's the problem with this particular opener. The queen wasn't available on the natural, so it can't really protect the drones that are mining there for a very long time. Okay, and now it actually does spawn. Yeah, hopefully he will.
That would be a big mistake. Okay, he will cancel.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to have that to be done to
sucks,
you.
Yeah.
Also, he does not have any queens injecting in his main, which is a little bit of a slip up.
He did take.
He actually took a creep tumor. Okay.
Creep tumor instead, and we see a spine. Whoa, that's a really defensive move from Deumos, and I don't feel he needs to go for that. He's got speed. He's got links.
Exactly.
Why spine, man? That's 100 minerals.
Actually, he is doing that. You know why? Because no. The natural for Targma still has not been taken, and he's very much afraid of a 1-base all-in.
Scouts the main of Targma. Holy crap! How does that
Up until now, he was very much afraid of a 1-base all-in.
Yeah, could be 4 racks maybe. 2 racks Hellion play. But Deumos Targma, of course, went for the CC on the high ground, and here it is, the starport on the way. So it is exactly the same game we have seen 5 times already.
I mean,
Targma.
it's the same, but it's not the same because the CC is there in the game, but it's not being mined from. And I mean, you can't really support 5 production facilities out of 1 base economy as a Terran player. It just doesn't happen. And Targma just won't have enough units.
And Deumos could pick up a couple of those Hellions up. 1 will be killed, but that's about it. 1 more. Nope, 1 Reaper. Oh no. Okay, Deumos does not go for it. But in any case, Deumos behind is again a very quick lair from him.
Yeah, it's gonna be Muta play.
Yeah, 4 gas. It's gonna be definitely Muta, but he needs more lanes, a little bit more lanes on the map because Targma is gearing up. He's probably gonna move up with this small task force of Reapers and Hellions, try to poke around. He's gonna see the delayed third. He's gonna see low army count.
It's gonna get taken at the 8th minute mark actually. That's so damn late, and I mean, it is also a little bit of a risk for Deumos to go actually for a Spire because
the danger from Targma moving out soon is approaching.
Yeah, and Muta risks aren't that great of a defensive unit. I mean, when there are certain situations where Muta play, actually 2-base Muta play is very viable. And that is when you're playing against Hellion Banshee openers into mech. Because then you pretty much force a Terran player to kind of have to figure out by himself how many Taurs, how many static defensive he needs, and a lot of time they will overcommit. But against a player who is going for bio, that pretty much, I mean, if you get maybe a Medivac full of units, then it's worth it, but otherwise I do not think so, because you pretty much lack upgrades.
And we gotta keep in mind, Baning's nest is nowhere even being shown on the map. That without Baning's here, Deumos has a low chance of being able to fend this off. And I mean, again,
does he have a Roach run?
no Roach Warren as well. There's nothing on the hand for Deumos to be able to go up against this efficiently. And the third hatchery has been cancelled, and Targma will start dropping, I feel, here. And just load one Medivac up with Hellions, maybe going to the main.
18
or
supply.
just go straight into the main, and here we go. And Targma's just going in. I mean, he doesn't even have steam here. Deumos is in dire trouble, and Stim now finishes up, and this is not good for Deumos right now. One Spine, 2 Queens will not be enough, and I mean, Deumos is on the verge of just being eliminated by a small task force that isn't even meant to kill the Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really funny game, I have to say. Because
oh my God, Deumos losing one queen, the second one almost. The drone's gonna fall here, and I mean, this is a big loss for Drone. Look at the drones falling, and he will clean this up eventually, obviously. But a pickup from Targma will save the rest of the units. And
I mean, I don't know, man. He is actually banking 1,400 minerals, 1,400 gas actually, which could be translated into a lot of Mutalisk made.
Yeah,
but with the unit supply being heavily in favor for the Terran player, and with the army supply, I mean worker supply actually also being in the Terran favor, I just don't see Deumos winning this game.
Yeah, and we see Baneling's Nest only now comes down, and this is such a late Baneling's Nest. Should have been done by now. Baneling's speed should have been complete by now. We see 1-1 again for Deumos, and I don't feel 1-1 will save him here. He needs lings and units, not upgrades. Upgrades are gonna be far too long before they finish, and here comes another push from Targma. Now, this is 5 Medivacs supporting this with Widowmine as well, and Combat Shield's just finished, and this is just not looking good for Deumos.
With almost every unit having its personal Medivac, those things just aren't gonna do much. And also with the splash damage in form of Widowmines being available.
Where are the Banelings? There's no Banelings at all. We see the 1-1 has been cancelled, but I mean, that's not gonna help much. Mural is gonna be sniped. Wow, good connection there by that.
If you just look at the supply for both of the players, it's pretty much telling the story of this game and how it is going to end.
116.
Deumos is still kind of partial defensively, maybe hoping that he can actually kind of bounce back into this game, but I just don't see it coming. I mean, he's stuck on 31 drones, he can't really make any right now. Targma is just pretty much containing him on one basis. Actually, he's deciding to push in a little bit right now, and this engagement is going to be really... I mean, even if Deumos actually kind of cleans it up, it's just not going to be enough. Yeah.
And we see Deumos is going to go in. Banelings have been completed, and he should be moving in by now. He needs to clear this army efficiently, but there's no way to clean it efficiently with Lings and Banelings. And we see Deumos is not even being able to break the first line of defense here for Targma, and this is just not looking good. Targma is looking like he's going to take game number 3, and Deumos actually will take a couple of those units down, well done, but the Medivacs still stand and mines as well. Deumos here, he's just banking up on units on 2 base, but the longer he banks, the less chance he has of winning. We see the 3rd base is going to be taken by Targma, more barracks being added behind us. Look at the army here, this is such a big army. And
I'm not really sure why he's not just rallying units into the Deumos as natural and just kind of choking him, because right now he can just throw down a couple of missile turrets and he'll be pretty much safe against anything. And
the Mutas engaging the Marines is just not looking good. And does lose a great deal of Banes as well. Connection with the Widowmine was great there. Another one, and here comes the push. And what else can we say, ladies and gentlemen? Supply tells the story. 131 against 84.
I mean, Targma right now with this unit just saying, choo-choo motherfucker, get out of the game, because I'm going to the quarterfinals, and he will go to the quarterfinals.
Here comes the big fight, and Targma will be able to take this win. Deumos at 72 supply is not going to be able to clean this up. Even if he cleans this up, there's no chance of coming back after this. And this is just a devastating fall for Deumos, a favorite of today's the MiA Invitational almost here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty tough group, you must say that, because both Evuzer and Targma and him have been in this group. So one of the favorites for this tournament actually did go right over there because of just of how difficult this group is. Right now we can also do last game.
Oh my god, connection was excellent for Deumos, but it's not going to help him. Look at the army behind us again for Targma. Well, actually, there's no army. Wait a second, where's the army? What? Why don't? Oh yeah, okay. Marines are spawning. No problem. Marines are spawning. CC could actually burn to death, but the bio still stands. Bane is connecting Targma again. No splitting units. A big mistake by Targma. This is what he has repeatedly done. Game over and every game, and we see, look at the Medivac count. Holy crap! There's more Medivac than units on the map, and
yeah, he should just maybe stop making Medivacs. Because,
maybe he's still producing them, and Deumos now on one base. He's got the painting that's being rebuilt. He's still building lanes, but I mean, at this very point, he knows he's GG. He's just gonna play it out a little bit longer, and probably gonna try and be just annoying to Targma, if nothing else. But behind us, look at the amount of Medivacs. That's just crazy. There's currently 15 Medivacs on the side, and that's wow. That's a lot of Medivacs.
That's usually not even the amount of Medivacs that you see with a maxed out Terran army, but Deumos right now with seeing the incoming push, GG's out of the game, and that's it pretty much for him as far as this tournament is concerned.
Targma takes the 2-1 victory, will be the final player to advance from Group D with a double victory over Deumos. And you know, Targma, well done. He's going to face off Deluxe next in the round of 8, ladies and gentlemen.